Federal employees shall not use his public office for his own private gain, for the endorsement of any product, service or enterprise, or for the private gain of friends, relatives or persons with whom the employee is affiliated in a non-governmental capacity. So with that in mind, listen to White House counsellor Kellyanne Conway. She was on the Fox News channel reacting to a decision by the retailer Nordstrom's to drop Ivanka Trump's fashion line.
They're using her, who's been a champion for women empowerment, women in the workplace, to get to him. So I think people can see through that.
30
go
seconds.
Buy Ivanka's stuff is what I would tell you. I hate shopping. I'm going to go get some on myself today. This is just, it's a wonderful line. I own some of it. I'm going to just give it, I'm going to give a free commercial here. Go buy it today, everybody. You can find it online.
It's a wonderful line. It's a wonderful line of clothes. Okay. Well, that comment set off a firestorm of criticism. Traffic to the Office of Government Ethics website surged to the point it was inaccessible for much of the day. The OGE also tweeted their website, phone system and email system are receiving an extraordinary volume of contacts from citizens about recent events. So amid all of the outrage of what appears to be a clear violation of the ethics rules, this was the response from the White House.
Kellyanne has been counseled, and that's all we're going to go with. She's been counseled on that subject, and that's it.
Joining me now is Norm Eisen, Special Counsel for Ethics during the Obama administration, and a man who earned the nickname Mr. No. Norm, thank you so much for being with us. We just heard from Sean Spicer saying Kellyanne Conway had essentially been spoken to. Is that the sort of typical disciplinary action for this type of ethics violation?
John, thanks for having me. And no, this is not the typical disciplinary action. There's nothing typical about the Trump administration approach to ethics. This is the latest in a series of actions by Mr. Trump himself, by his wife, by his children to capitalize on his election and now his service as President of the United States. It stems from Mr. Trump's own refusal to do what every president has done for 4 decades, Democrat and Republican, give up his ownership interests, sever him, appoint a trustee. Everybody's getting in on the unethical act, and the latest was Kellyanne Conway.
So if something like this had happened during the Obama administration, what would have happened to that staffer?
I can tell you one thing, that for sure you would not have had this tap on the wrist where a couple hours later the White House press secretary gets up and says, she's been counseled, that's all I have to say about it, go away, don't bother me.
Well, clearly the president believes this decision by Nordstrom's to drop the fashion label which his daughter owns, it was politically motivated. Does that have any bearing here?
John, that's nonsense. Nordstrom's has said that it is not politically motivated. They've said that it's a result of declining sales of the line. You know, with his tweet, Mr. Trump has attacked the core of the American capitalist free enterprise system, which is to let business function. This kind of bullying is a signal to those who do business with him, including the foreign governments who are making payments and giving him benefits in violation of the United States Constitution Emoluments Clause. It's a signal to them, don't try to cut off our supply, we're going to punish you. It's wrong, it's unethical, and I think it's illegal.
Well, the House Oversight Committee has written to the Office of Government Ethics to recommend disciplinary action against Conway because, this is what they say, her statements clearly violate the ethical principles for federal employees and are unacceptable. But I guess the key word here, though, is recommend, because any action, it's ultimately up to the White House, isn't it?
Well, on this specific instance, the ethics issues will be up to the White House with respect to the violation, and even the White House agrees she had to be counseled. The White House did not dispute there was a violation. there's appropriations law that comes into play here. You're not supposed to, under our rules for spending the money, the taxpayer dollars, you're not supposed to use it for an unauthorized purpose. An infomercial for Ivanka's line certainly is an unauthorized purpose. So we may see more congressional oversight, and more importantly, this is part of a pattern and practice where people are litigating, going to the courts, like with the Muslim ban case that Mr. Trump lost tonight. I am part of litigation to cut off foreign government payments to the administration. So this big pattern is going to be addressed by the courts and other bodies.
And it's still the third week. Norm Eisen, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, John.